Joining us on the KOGO News Live Line, attorney Quentin Brogdon. And have there really been any surprises either in the questioning or in her answers?
Good morning, Ted and LaDonna. There have been no surprises. There's a long-standing tradition now of nominees from both parties declining to comment, to give their personal views or comment specifically on issues, particularly hot-button issues like Roe versus Wade. Barrett continued that tradition. She would not say whether she would recuse from any election case if it goes up to the Supreme Court, whether Trump can delay the election, whether Roe should be overturned, whether the Supreme Court should overturn the decision legalizing gay marriage, and whether Obamacare should be overturned, among other things. So her nomination probably, her approval, her confirmation is probably a foregone conclusion. So this is really more about the politicking on both sides, both parties doing that.
How do you think she's holding up so far?
She's holding up very well. Whether you are for her or against her, she has sort of a quiet grace and dignity. She held up a blank notepad at the request of Senator John Cornyn. You know, what notes have you been taking? She held up a pad with nothing. She has been respectful. The senators have, by and large, been respectful as well. They're trying to avoid any blowback publicly, such as that occurred, at least in some quarters after the confirmation for Brett Kavanaugh. So it's been a more subdued affair. Some of that is due to the social distancing and the remote setup, but probably she'll be confirmed. But she's going to have a lifetime appointment if she is confirmed, with incredible power, the power to really undo precedents and to make law, not just to enforce law through the decisions that are promulgated by the court, and decisions on Obamacare, Second Amendment, right to bear arms, power of federal regulatory agencies, Roe versus Wade, LGBT issues, and even the election potentially. So it's a big, important appointment.
Let's talk about her qualifications, because, one of the things that Republican senators keep touting, Lindsey Graham very specifically, are, her long list of achievements, her qualifications, the fact that her mentor was Antonin Scalia. She does seem eminently qualified.
Traditionally, these hearings were simply about whether a justice was qualified. Scalia, when he was nominated and confirmed, he was approved by over 90-something votes, even though he was very, very conservative. The justice that Judge Barrett would be replacing, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, was confirmed by over 90 votes, even though she was very much on the liberal end of the spectrum. And in this case, it's hard to argue with a straight face that Judge Barrett is not qualified. She teaches at Notre Dame Law School. She was first in her class there. She's been, voted Distinguished Professor of the Year multiple times. She's been a Court of Appeals justice. She most definitely is a very smart woman. At 48, she would be the youngest justice on the court. We have a couple in their 50s, a couple in their 60s, a couple in their 70s, and one in their 80s. But she would only be 48 years old with a lifetime appointment. But you're correct. It's hard to argue she's not qualified.
Can we go back a second? But technically, are Supreme Court justices supposed to be apolitical? Like, we always talk about the conservative ones and the liberal ones.
Justice John Roberts, the Chief Justice, famously said, actually not that long ago, but it's been off-quoted already, that there are no Republican justices and there are no Democratic justices. And Justice Roberts, has tried to keep the court kind of in a center lane, and some believe that he's done that even at the hazard of his own beliefs. For instance, when he voted, was the crucial vote in saving Obamacare in a case. And so, yes, technically they are not supposed to have an agenda, and that was the line that Judge Barrett stuck to when she was repeatedly pressed, particularly on Roe versus Wade, the abortion case, but also on the Affordable Care Act. I'm going in with no agenda. I'm going to decide these cases case by case. But there's no question, if she's confirmed, the court will be tilted very much now to the right. There'll be 6 justices who are conservative, as opposed to 3 who are more on the liberal end. And that tends to, not in every case, but over time, tends to create a body of case law that affects everyday people's lives on these important issues: abortion, Obamacare, Second Amendment, and others.
Attorney Quentin Brogdon with us here on the KOGO News Live Line. Thank you very much. We appreciate your insight.
Well, stay safe in San Diego, Ted and LaDonna, and we'll all be watching this. Very interesting, to say the least.